Good afternoon, everyone. It's a new week here on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, #1 tennis betting podcast and YouTube channel. With me, your host, Nigel Seeley, and our senior handicapper is Sean Calvert for the ATP Tour Game Bet Match. Sean, you're over in where are you? Palm Springs now?
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
I saw you on Instagram.
Remember, I did that bus journey, didn't I? From Indian Wells to here. Bus, train, all that sort of stuff. That was on Saturday. So
you're the new John Candy. Bus, trains, automobiles. The new John Candy.
I've been described as a few things in my time, but never John Candy. I think that's the only similarity between me and John Candy. To be honest, you could fit three of me in him, couldn't you? I think John Candy. But yeah, bus. It actually went quite well. Actually, I was expecting a few more little minor disasters or hiccups or whatever, but it was virtually seamless. Bus turned up on time. No problem. Metro wasn't overly pleasant for an hour on the E line from downtown LA to here. But yeah, I've been in Santa Monica a couple of days. I'm flying home later today. So yeah, it's my last day here in California. Yeah.
So I'm not geography and geographically where you are. I don't really know. A lot of people who are watching this will be American.
It's just Los Angeles, just South Los Angeles.
So how long does that take you? That sort of route you've done?
It's not that far. It's probably, if you were driving from sort of Palm Springs, well, let's say Indian Wells to Santa Monica, it'd probably take about 2.5 hours, something like that. It's not particularly far as the crow flies, but obviously I had to go. I didn't have to. I chose to go a slightly more scenic route, just from an Uber to the bus stop, and then the bus stops. I knew that was going to be weird because it's just in the middle of nowhere. But it's hard to explain unless you've kind of been in the terrain. There's not much in that part of the world. It's basically desert with a few sort of petrol stations and businesses sort of dotted around. So you are kind of in the middle of nowhere. You're stood. It's not like going to catching a bus in Britain where you've got a bus stop and a bus stand and stuff like that. It's just
and a pub next door to the bus stop and a betting shop.
There's none of that. There's none of that. It's just the bus will turn up at this part next to it, sort of slightly next to a gas station sort of thing. So the few is standing around. You're all looking at each other going, is this the right place? But yeah, so it's a couple of hours on the bus, and then the subway, the metro, which is the same as any metro you've been on, like New York or London or whatever. You get some interesting characters on there. That takes about an hour. So whole thing took me about 4 hours because of the way I did it. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was all right. No problems.
So you've left the Cocoon Hotel with the I Love Lucy star. And you've gone in the pool because obviously you look about 5 years younger. So you must have gone in the pool there and refreshed yourself from the Cocoon.
I think that's just the light in here compared to the light. That room I had in the Cocoon Hotel, as you call it, was it was terrible. There was no. I don't know why they do this in America. There's no lights on the ceiling. It's all spotlights and
getting the most out of you and the money, mate. They're getting the most out of you. The room bill with no electric and no lights.
Possibly, but I think because the window is just there. And it's a much bigger window. There's much more light. There was no light in that other room. I probably looked like a ghost because there was no light. The only difference between me then and me now is just better lighting, basically.
You can follow Sean's Adventures on our Instagram account @becausewewin and also on Twitter @becausewewin as well. From your balcony, I saw like you had a little veranda with a restaurant. Surely they must keep you up at night with the noise and the people eating outside. It must be the vicinity between your balcony and the restaurant seems quite close.
Yeah,
no noise.
It's just there. No, it's not really. Huh?
I was wondering if the noise was making you struggle to sleep or anything like that.
No, it's not really a restaurant out there. That's where you have breakfast.
Oh, right.
I'm not sure there's dinner out there. Even if it is, I mean, it's not loud. It's quite a sort of laid back place. This, to be honest, it's not. No, it's no. I wear earplugs anyway, so
yep,
doesn't bother me.
Well, you're very laid back today. I was expecting you to tell me some stories about the problems coming down and all that, but you seem to be chilled out. The few days away is actually done you good. You got the California vibe going, Sean.
Yeah, I spoke to my friend on the phone this morning. I found myself saying "man." I never say that. It's not something I ever say, And
you're going to like singers next.
No, I'm not going to like singers. Not sure. Well, depends on the singer. I've forgotten the question now. What was it?
Oh, no, you said you feel a bit chilled out. You feel a bit. You seem a little bit more. You're not so angry. When you.
I'm never angry. I'm just sometimes just incredulous at some of the things that people do and the things that go on. The only thing I can moan about, actually, I don't know whether you can see it out there. So if I could just change this around. I don't know whether you can see it. Through that window there, you probably can't see it. Through that window is the pool, and it's got this, it's all nice and that. I mean, it's a tiny pool. You could, if you wanted to swim from one side to the other, it'd take you about 2 seconds. It's tiny. But they've got this peculiar sort of semi-roof over the top of it, which serves no purpose at all. It's just there for decoration. I think they think it looks cool. But what it does is it blocks out the sunlight. So if you're sunbathing out there, you've got to time it perfectly so when the sun isn't hitting that overhead structure there. So it's a bit annoying. You have to keep switching sunbeds. I was of a mind to talk to reception about it, but
you do that.
What are they going to do? Do you want us to take the roof down? Well, yes, because it doesn't serve any purpose. It's like a semi.
You make your questionnaire. Fill the questionnaire at the end, and you make that questionnaire through.
Well, they're going to ignore me, aren't they? Obviously, they're going to. We'll take it down. Yeah, that guy doesn't like it, so we'll spend about £500,000 taking it down.
I think they're alerted to you arriving anyway. I think it's on your passport. I think it's on your visa when you go in there. They'll be going to make sure he's gonna have a few complaints. I think he's stopped at customs.
I haven't moaned about this place yet. Actually, it's good.
It's the first time we spoke.
No, I mean, since I've been here, I've not moaned to anybody, or haven't had any need to kind of seek anybody out for any sort of problems. It's all.
I think it's more I think it's a bit of sunshine, California vibe. You're in that kind of mood and good thing. Yeah. So I like that chilled out. I like the chilled out Calvert feel about it. I think it's good.
It won't last though. It's not going to last.
When you're waiting 2 hours for your luggage to come out of Heathrow in about 10 hours, about 20 hours from now, you won't be in that chilled out mode.
No,
when you get caught in the traffic on the M25 because they're closing the M25 this evening.
I'm not driving, so it's fine.
You're not going to be in that chilled out mood. So let's make the most of it, and hopefully this chilled out mood might find a few winners. We haven't had the greatest of tournaments, have we, Sean? It's been a bit of a struggle, this one.
Bit up and down, yeah. Not terrible, but not great. But Indian Wells is not easy. That's why I've not had that many bets. It's probably one of the most one of the hardest tournaments of the year, really, because the conditions are changing. And yeah, I try not to have too many bets at Indian Wells because if you do, it can come back to bite you.
We do have 4 matches tomorrow on Tuesday. We want to talk about. When you usually come onto the show on Monday, we're always talking about the the future markets for the tournaments the other week. Obviously, Indian Wells is a 10-day tournament, starts on Wednesday with the final on Sunday this weekend. So we're at the business end, round 16 on the men's singles at Indian Wells. Some great matches coming up for tomorrow on Tuesday. We've got 4 matches we're going to preview today. The first match is a really, really intriguing one. Jannik Sinner, obviously now up to number 2 in the world in provisional rankings. As we stand now, the live rankings, Sinner will be number 2 in the world. He obviously the Australian Open champion. He won his tournament straight after the Australian Open as well. He's unbeaten this year in Rotterdam. He's up against Ben Shelton, the American, who such high hopes are pinned on the American. He come through a testing battle against Serenduru yesterday. I bet over 10.5 in set 1, and Shelton went to break up, and I thought, I've done the money, go 5-3. He broke him straight back. I got my money on that one. But this one,
we said overs, didn't we? We said over 22.5 for that one.
Yeah, we said that. And we said first set tiebreak and all the related markets to the overs. This match here is Jannik Sinner defending a 100% record in 2024. He's minus 590 with Bet Rivers currently. Ben Shelton is plus 430. The spread here was 4.5, minus 129 for Shelton, plus 4.5, minus 4.5 for Sinner is even money. And the total 21.5 here is minus 114 over, minus 112 under. If you look at their 2 previous matches, they played in Vienna last year, 7-6, 7-5. They played in Shanghai, 2-6. Shelton won the first set. So Shelton won that much. Sinner won the first set 6-2, and then Shelton come back 6-3, 7-6. So both of them have really easily cashed on the over line here. And over 21.5, straight away when looking at his prices, I give a little lean to Shelton at plus 430 on some capacity, but my main attraction is straight to the over 21.5 at minus 114.
Yeah. I should just point out round 4 stats, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Just goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. Only 2 of the last 15 underdogs have won in round 4, and it's only 25% of them on average in the last 13 editions. So this is normally around when the favourites start to click into gear. So this one, I mean, I think the problem with Shelton here is possibly how fit is he? How good is that left arm after that almost 3-hour battle he just talked about against Cerundolo? We talked about the cupping that he has to have on that shoulder. And the serve for him is obviously key. Even here at Indian Wells, the matches that he's played so far, he has won 80% of his first serve points. So if that shoulder's anything less, that's going to be a problem for him. I feel like the night, if we don't know the schedule for this then, but I feel like if it's a night match, that might favour Shelton, who's just played a night match. Sinner, as far as I'm aware, hasn't played a night match yet. He's only played in the day. It is difficult here to come from daytime conditions to nighttime conditions. So that's perhaps something in Shelton's favour. If it is a night match, we are guessing on the schedule. I mean, not sure. Sinner, for me, I'm not totally convinced about him against big servers. He has struggled a bit in the past. Even again a few weeks ago against Milos Raonic in Rotterdam, I watched the first set of their match, and I think I'm sure Raonic was a break-up serve for the set. Ended up losing it in a tie-break. I'm not completely convinced that Sinner is that comfortable against the really big servers. As you said, the head-to-head is reasonably close. The service points won and return points won totals of those two matches, it favours Sinner, but not overwhelmingly. 103-97. Problem for Shelton is he only wins 29% of return points against Sinner. Sinner's held serve 96% of the time against Shelton. So how often is Shelton going to break serve? That's the issue. And if you look at the 2024 stats at main level, it's off the charts stuff from Jannik Sinner. 100% win rate, as you said. Service points won and return points won, total of 111, and a service hold and break total of 124. So to say that he's in the prime of his career is pretty accurate. Shelton, comparatively speaking, not at that level. 67% win rate. It's decent, but a service points won and return points won total of 103, and a whole break total of 103. So he's got quite a bit to find on Jannik Sinner. So I think, the overs is where you have to go, I think, here. Assuming that Shelton's going to come out pumped up like he normally does, you've got to fancy the over 10.5 games in set one. That's a plus 225 chance with Bet Rivers. I feel like, particularly if it's a night match, I feel like Sinner might take a little bit of time to adjust.
Yeah, I love that play. I love the overs in set one. I love the overs in 21.5 in the match. 35 different markets available with Bet Rivers as we stand now. As Sean said, we do not know the order of play yet for tomorrow, but we do know it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so plenty of time to head across to Bet Rivers when you do know the order of play. And obviously, in the evening session, will help Shelton on this. He has got a slight injury, as Sean alluded to there, but I just feel this could be. I know Sinner's been brilliant, but he's going to have a blip at some stage. Physicality. Yeah. He's going to. I just think this 599 does look to me too low, and I think 21.5 is a very, very low total game price when you consider the two matches they've had before. So total games is where we're heading now. Would that be an official pick, Sean, or would that just be a lean here?
Yeah, that's just a lean for me. I'm not having too many bets. I quite like that one, but there's the one I slightly prefer.
So we've got one official pick. The lean on that match, Shelton Sinner over the total games. It's 10.5 in set number one. Maybe look for a tiebreaker there, 21.5 as well. The next match is a very interesting game, really interesting game for me, because it's Alex de Minaur against Alexander Zverev, and the Australian de Minaur is playing the tennis of his life at the moment. He's inside the top 10 of the world rankings. He won in Acapulco. He's coming in with really great form. His girlfriend, Katie Bolter, won the tournament as well a couple of weeks back as well when she won the tournament. I can't remember if she won the tournament. It's San Diego, I think.
San Diego, I think.
Yeah, I think it was San Diego. So the de Minaur house at the moment has got cash coming in. They're loving life. They're full of the joys of spring. And he come through a bit of a battle in the first set against Bublik yesterday, but he won convincingly in the second set. He hasn't dropped a set this tournament. He didn't drop hardly. He dropped one set on the way to the final winning the Acapulco. He's up against Alexander Zverev, who has been a bit indifferent on his form coming in. I know that he played Griekspoor in the last round. If you've seen the YouTube with Griekspoor smashing the rackets and going,
I watched it live. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Absolutely crazy.
One of the best racket smashes of the year so far. That wasn't it?
Without a doubt. Don't even where it comes. He hasn't shown that Griekspoor. He hasn't shown that, and he's a bit feisty, but he hasn't really shown that.
I've seen him do that before. I'm not surprised because he should have won that first set. All ends up, shouldn't he? He had so many chances, and I think he was just that annoyed that he blew them all that he just that racket was, they only had the handle left at the end, didn't it? There's nothing left of the rest of it.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Watch it on YouTube. It's one of the best racket smashes you've seen. But the reason I like this match here is because obviously Minaur is coming in unbelievable form, and their head-to-head is 6-2 to Zverev. So there is obviously a market shift, and people always bet with the head-to-head. The fact that Minaur won the last match and the only match this year in 2024 is a tight match here as well. But the line here is quite relevant to, and it's quite actually sort of how you would expect the line to be, probably on the form given that both of these players are in. Alexander Zverev is the underdog at -107. Minaur is the favourite at -115. The spread here is 1.5, but you can discount that it's 1.5 for one or the other because it's a pick and match on the money line. The total here is 22.5. Yesterday, when I was watching Minaur, I know we've bet him before for win Wimbledon. I was looking at him to win Wimbledon last night. I was going through the markets. I thought to myself, this kid is on a heater at the moment. He's 10 in the world. He could probably go into Wimbledon maybe 7 or 8 seed. And, he's a grass court player. But 50 to 1 was the top price I could find. I couldn't bet him at 50 to 1. I wanted like 6,600, but 50 to 1 was the best price I could find. He's in some form.
We had him about
200, wasn't it? 200.
We had him. I think it was 150 or 200 to 1 or 250 to 1 or something like that. It was a big price. I remember that he was 2 sets up against Christian Garin, wasn't he? And I think he served for the match as well. He managed to blow it, but he's a different player now for sure.
Yeah, he's on fire. And so I'm guessing here, because you've been quite negative towards Zverev in this tournament so far, and I don't think you're going to lose out here. So I'm guessing that your official pick may come on this match here.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to be with Minaur though, surely.
Yeah, I think the line is about right, which is why I'm not betting it, because I like to have something more value than a line being correct. As I said, Zverev was very, very fortunate to win the opening set last night against Greek Sport. I mean, it's just an epic choke for him, wasn't it? He served for the set. I think he did 2 double faults in the game. Zverev didn't even do anything. I think it was 2 double faults, a couple of unforced errors from Greek Sport, and that was it. Handed over the break, blew a 5-2 lead as well in the tie break, and then the racket went. So, I'm still not impressed. I just don't think conditions really suit Zverev here. He's never really played his best tennis here. But the head-to-head is a good example of another one where Minaur is now starting to make inroads against opponents that he's struggled against in the past. He's getting more out of his game now, gets more out of the serve. He's serving bigger, and he's being more aggressive. In the past, he was too keen to just win these really, really long rallies. Now he's realized that if he wants to get to where he wants to be, he's got to be more aggressive, and that's what he's doing. So he beat Zverev in the United Cup at the start of the year, having lost 6 of his previous 7 against Zverev, and similarly beat Tsitsipas, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago, having previously lost 11 in a row. So he's starting to turn these head-to-heads around. You can see why if you look at the stats for this season. Minaur, 85% win rate, and a service points won and return points won total of 109, which is just 2 behind Jannik Sinner. And his service hold and break total is 118. Now, these are top stats from Minaur, and Zverev can't match that. 75% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 106, a hold and break total of 109. So he's some way behind Zverev on the stats for 2024. And you can see in Minaur's numbers the improvement. So he's winning just 2% fewer service points this season than Zverev is. We all know Zverev is historically a much bigger server. But Minaur is now getting almost as much out of his first serve as Zverev does. And importantly, Minaur is 7% better on return points. So I think the line is right. I think you have to make Minaur favourite. And if I was betting in this match, I would take Minaur. I'm not sure it represents any stupendous value, but I would go with Minaur here.
I think it's one of them prices that Minaur at -115, you expect them to win, but you were hoping for +115, weren't you?
Yeah,
the price just puts you off slightly. You think he will win. He's in great form, but at -115, you're not prepared to get involved.
No, I mean, if he dips below the level that he's set for himself so far this season, then that's not going to look a very good price pretty quickly. So, yeah, I'd want plus money about Minaur, I think, or at least evens.
Now, the next match we are going to discuss. Now, I think now this might be the one that you're going to have the official pick here, because I think you might bet Lehecka here. Now, Lehecka produced probably one of his best performances of his career to absolutely blitz Rublev in the last round at Indian Wells. He beat Nakashima in round 2. He played Tsitsipas, who was the match against TFO was absolutely dreadful. The standard from both players was awful.
I mean, why would you
TFO
put TFO on at 11 a.m.?
it
Why?
was a terrible, terrible performance from TFO. He didn't obviously fancy it at all. Tsitsipas did nothing as well, but he just beat what was in front of him. And now he plays Lehecka. Now, my only worry with Lehecka all the time is his nerve. I think he's a bit flakier player. I don't really trust him if he gets a bit tight. But if he plays like he did against Rublev, he's got a great chance here. Let's look at the odds. Tsitsipas is minus 215. Lehecka is plus 170. The handicap here for Lehecka is plus 2.5, which looks massive at plus 110. Tsitsipas is minus 143, minus 2.5, and the total here is 22.5. The reason why this price might be the price it is because they met twice before. Tsitsipas has won them both. The last time they met was in Australian Open, where he won very easily in 2023 in the quarterfinal, which was the breakthrough tournament for Lehecka. He won in straight sets. But on the evidence of what I've seen in this tournament so far, there is no way. If you come down from Mars or wherever you come down from, you watch a tennis match and you saw these two play in the last round and you said you can get plus 170 for that player and minus 215 for that one. The plus 170 one wins all the time. Question marks about his temperament though and his nerve. That's a big worry for me. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good opportunity to back Lehecka. I think it's a similar sort of odds, isn't it, to the Mannarino bet that we had the other day? And if it goes as well as that one, I'll be absolutely delighted. But yeah, you got to take Lehecka here. I think it's value. I mean, I've written down here exactly what you just said. Actually, if he plays like he did against Rublev and how he's been playing generally this season, on and off, he's got a great chance of taking down Tsitsipas. I did say in the last preview that Lehecka can bully Rublev and beat him at his own game if he's on form, and that's exactly what happened. He was on form. He was virtually unplayable against Rublev. Rublev didn't play bad. Rublev won 60-odd% of his second serve points. Just Lehecka was surely that's as well as he can play, or getting on for as well as he can play. He'd have beaten pretty much anybody that was put in front of him that day, more or less. He was that good. Maybe he's not going to hit them heights again. That's the worry. But he has generally been playing that sort of level, not quite that good, but getting on for that good pretty much all season. Question for Lehecka is, can he repeat it? I'm more than happy to take a chance that he can get close to that level at these odds. As you said, Tsitsipas has beaten him twice, but this was a long time ago. It was 2023 and 2022. One of them was 2 years ago. The other one was a year ago. And the head-to-head, yes, it's overwhelming for Tsitsipas, 110-90 in terms of the service points won and return points won. But that's in the dim and distant past when Tsitsipas was playing a lot better than he is now, and Lehecka wasn't the player that he is now. If you look at the 2024 main level stats and outdoor hard, there's virtually nothing between them. Lehecka's service points won and return points won total is 104, Tsitsipas 105. So very, very slim advantage to Tsitsipas. Here at Indian Wells, I mean, Lehecka's not played that many matches, but his total is 102, Tsitsipas 103. So however you look at it, unless you're looking purely at the head-to-head, which I'm not sure is that relevant, there has to be value on Lehecka at what, plus 170?
Plus 170. I've got a little way of looking at this match. And, I think that if Lehecka is going to win the match, he's going to win easy. I think if it gets tight, my worry about betting Lehecka is if it gets in tight situations, I think he hasn't got the kahunas to go through with it.
He's coached by Berdych, isn't he? And they do remind me a little bit of each other. Actually, Berdych was another one you would think if he's about to serve it out, you would leave the room.
Yeah,
but yeah, similar. But he didn't have any problems against Rublev yesterday at all. Just straight in, bang, done.
But that's the way he's got to win it. If it gets tight in a tie break or a second,
I wouldn't have him on the handicap. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, I'm thinking, if you like, Lehecka plus 170 is a great price, and that's probably going to be that's where we're going to head in here. But I think if Lehecka wins, he wins 2-0. So I'm looking at plus 370 to win 2-0. 37 different markets available at Rivers, and one of them is 2-0 Lehecka is plus 370. But I think the 170 price is good enough, and that's how that will be our official play. I'm trying to get it out of you, Sean.
Yes, no, it is the official play. Yeah, I think this is the one where there is value. I mean, as I said, I quite fancied him, but not at that price. You've got to bet the value prices, and I feel like this is the value price of the day.
Yeah, value price of the day. Lehecka, who was absolutely unbelievable yesterday, brilliant performance, probably arguably his best performance of his career, to beat Rublev, who was one of our picks to win the tournament. It didn't happen for him, and he was sensational. And if you can replicate that, plus 170 to beat Tsitsipas, it looks an absolute gift. 37 different markets. Head to the Bet Rivers website. Plus 370 as well to win 2 sets of love. I quite like that as well. And remember, if you do go and place your bets on Bet Rivers, you can watch live and bet live on the Bet Rivers website. You can watch the match from the comfort of your own home if you do place a wager. And remember that Bet Rivers are offering a special during the Sunshine Double. Bet Rivers is offering a tennis net gains parlay profit boost. Each day you can receive a profit boost of 25% or more for a tennis parlay of 3 legs or more. See the Bet Rivers app for full details. So if you want to boost up that parlay by 25%, head across for the Sunshine Double special on the Bet Rivers website. The final match tomorrow is Carlos Alcaraz up against Marozsan. Now, Marozsan is obviously an opponent that Carlos Alcaraz will be eager to beat because Marozsan produced the shock of the 2023 season last year when he beat him in the 3rd round in Rome. Marozsan won 6-3, 7-6. And Alcaraz, obviously, he's had injury concerns coming to this tournament. He looked quite good yesterday against Felix Auger-Aliassime. And he's a heavy favourite here. He's minus 1,115. Marozsan is plus 700. The spread is 5.5. You can get 5.5 start if you want to bet Marozsan at minus 114. And the total maybe looks a little bit low here, 19.5 with over minus 118, under minus 108. Marozsan has had a good run here. He beat Jiri, he beat Seyboth-Wild. Alcaraz lost a set against Arnaldi, and I know he played well against Auger-Aliassime, but I thought Auger-Aliassime just was limited against Alcaraz here. How do you see this one go?
I think Marozsan's got some sort of a chance of doing something here. I mean, I watched all of Alcaraz's match against Arnaldi. I mean, he started poorly, but he has looked better and better since then. To be honest, the first set against Arnaldi, he was just too aggressive. He was going for everything and I think he made about 20 odd unforced errors in that opening set against Arnaldi. But since then, he's been a lot better. It's difficult to back against him when you look at his Indian Wells record. His service points won and return points won total here is 113, and his service hold and break total is 124. So he obviously absolutely loves the conditions here, and you can see why. He gets slow, high bouncing. It's similar to clay in many ways. But Marozsan's a big match player. He's won 10 of his 12 main draw matches at Masters 1000 level. And he's 2-0 win-loss against top 10 opponents. Alcaraz was one, Casper Ruud was the other. So he's clearly a player that isn't fazed by taking on big names. Some players are. He obviously isn't bothered by it. He doesn't. These reputations don't worry him. And at big tournaments as well. It's not like he beat Alcaraz in one of the 250 or 500 or something. He's taken him down in Rome. So he's obviously not going to fear Alcaraz. He's also got some excellent stats at Indian Wells. It's only 3 matches, though. I mean, his service points won and return points won total is 115, and his hold and break total is 122. It's only 3 matches, so it's a very, very small sample size. But he obviously enjoys conditions here. He knows he can beat Alcaraz. I thought it was interesting, Alcaraz's quotes he mentioned after the Felix match. He was talking about he wasn't confident. He was really suffering from a lack of confidence when he was in Buenos Aires. He lost, was it to Jiri? I think he lost, didn't he, there?
Yep.
And he was saying he's in training, he's had to kind of really biff himself up to try and get that confidence going. It's a difficult thing to understand if you're number 1, 2 in the world. You're lacking confidence, which just goes to show you that even the best players they're sometimes lacking a bit of self-belief. But I think the last 4 sets that he's played here, I feel like he's going to be feeling pretty good about his game, especially in the conditions here. So I think you're right there. I think over 19.5 games is perhaps the way to go here. I think that was a minus 114 chance of Bet Rivers. I feel like Marozsan's got something to offer in this matchup. I suspect he'll push him closer than Felix did. I didn't really give Felix any real chance of doing much at all against Alcaraz. But I think Marozsan, he comes here, he's not going to expect anything really. He can play pretty loose, and I feel like he can give him a decent test. Yeah.
The line has moved slightly. It's minus 118 now over 19.5, but I think that's a decent play. So 4 matches tomorrow. There's also 4 matches on the women's draw, including the Igor Swiatek, the tournament favourite, and the world number 1 is in action as well. Head to the Bet Rivers website. We do not know the order of play, but we do know that it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time over in Indian Wells. 38 different markets available on all these matches. You will not find a better array of markets across the United States of America than what Bet Rivers are offering. Remember, you got that Sunshine Double bonus of 25% boost on your parlay for 3 legs or more. There's 8 really fascinating matches to choose from to get that parlay boost. Sean, you're off traveling back. What time is your flight this evening?
7 o'clock local time.
So you've got a few hours left before you travel back to the UK. I think we won't do a podcast tomorrow. Sean will be recuperating from his travel, and we'll probably be back on Wednesday afternoon to look ahead to the latter stages of the tournament. If you want to follow our stuff, you can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Because We Win. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Betting Weekly Studios. Huge amount of followers. Thank you very much. I keep saying the same thing, but thank you very much for all your comments. We'll keep them coming. Really, really boosted by the amount of people who keep following us and asking us questions, and really enjoying the show. So thank you very much for your comments on that. And obviously, you can download the podcast Betting Weekly Game Bet Match on your preferred podcast provider. Sean, before we go, just give us your wrap up. Just the one official pick.
Yeah, Lehecka. I think we're taking Lehecka on current form at plus 170. I think he is with Bet Rivers to beat Stefanos Tsitsipas.
That is the bet. Plus 170 Lehecka to beat Tsitsipas. Have a little bit of pizza money on 2-0 Lehecka, because if he wins, he's going to blow me away. Plus 370. That's what I quite like as well. So we're on the Lehecka train tomorrow. I don't know. That could derail at any stage.
It could, yeah. With Thomas Burditch in your camp, it's anything could happen, yeah.
Sean, thanks very much for all your time over there stateside. Have a very safe journey back as well. Follow Sean's last few hours on Instagram account, and thanks very much for watching. And we'll be back again on Wednesday looking at I think it would be the quarterfinals over in Indian Wells. Take care.